Breed Global Truth. Shalom, Israel. It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. What's going on, people? I see Joey Yes in the building. Max Key, Terrific Tasha. What's going on, Sean? Joe Pierre, you're Jermaine, what's going on, fam? Nigel Wright in the building. Rodeo Ron. Internal Beauties in the house. Linda Martinez. What's going on? Broken Matrix TV in the building. Remnant Set Apart. Brandon Stern. Tiz in the house. Man, all praises to the Most High, man. I'm just blessed to be alive, bro. Actually, I have touched down back in GA. And man, it was quite an experience being in Washington, D.C., boy, I tell you. It's a lot of things that transpired that a lot of y'all may not even know about because y'all may have missed my previous broadcast that was removed from YouTube. It's actually blocked in every country. The video was about the deep fake. And it was blocked for some type of policy violation, which is unknown at this point. And I was threatened that if I even disputed, that I was going to get hit with a copyright strike. So it's on Patreon, patreon.com/newbreed. And, you know, it was one of the most realest videos that brought the most clarity on that topic on social media. So if you want to find that video, you'll know more about what actually took place with me personally. A firsthand account of something I experienced in DC. You know what I'm saying? Which happens to be the highest police presence, the highest, the home of the federal agents, pretty much. Washington, D.C. is not a joke. The whole DMV area is a place where organized mobbing takes place on a whole nother degree. And it's also a lot of chosen ones in that area as well, because it's a lot of our people there from the diaspora. But I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You know, one thing I will say, I got a reminder on why I left. Although I enjoyed myself with some loved ones and kinfolk and whatnot, I got a reminder of why I left that place. Yep, Broken Matrix said it right. Everything is there. The CIA, the DOD, DHS, FBI, all the lawmakers. Facts. That is a fact. And I got a reminder of that, man. Some of the things I experienced, I'll explain some of it, you know, during this video right here. Some of the things that was happening, you know, and try not to sound like a paranoid schizophrenic, because that's what they would like you to sound like. But I try my best to, you know, break down some things of what I personally seen that just seemed rare and random, somewhat of a phenomenon what was taking place. Yeah, somebody said it. DC is like its own United States. Absolutely. You know, I wanted to talk about organized mobbing, gang stalking, electronic harassment. I wanted to talk about the chosen ones. And I'm just going to put it out there. You chosen ones are being watched. Everybody's watching you. Now, it's two things you can do about that. You can be paranoid and live your life in fear, or you can gird up and you can get some spiritual elevation, and you could tap into the Most High and start to fight in this battle versus good and evil. Straight up. Because it's very rare to be one of the Most High in these day and age. There'll be just be a person that has principle, a person who has a moral compass, a person who has certain ethics, a person who's balanced and has any level of integrity in life. you know, you're going to stand out like a sore thumb, and you're going to be ostracized by the world. And the crazy part about it is they're going to make you seem like you don't even exist. This is the crazy part. They're all watching you, but at the same time, they have a way of making you seem like you're not even there. They have a way of making you feel like you're invisible, but they're all watching. Isn't that crazy? But that's how it is. They like to gaslight you. And, you know, at this point, man, if you walking with the Almighty, you got to know it ain't no surrender, no retreat. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give these devils a piece of my mind in this stream by bringing out scripture and bringing out truth and showing brothers and sisters how to fight this battle. And you know what I'm saying? And some of the things I'm going to tell y'all, it's a reminder to myself. Yep. Yeah, Brian said they obsessed with us. That's a fact. It's a very unhealthy obsession, man. You know, these people can see the light in us and it's glorious. And instead of turning from their wicked ways, they rather destroy what they can't understand. They can't understand how we can stand on principle. They just don't get it because they so used to being scandalous. They so used to being traitors and backbiters, scoffers and gossipers. They so used to operating on their lower selves. They're not used to people having an actual soul. People can look in the mirror and say, you know what? I got a soul. When I look in the mirror, I see my soul. I know I won't compromise my soul for anything. No amount of money, no approval from no person, no acceptance from no person. See, the thing about chosen ones, we willing to go it alone. That's the thing. We don't need nobody. All we need is the creator. And we prepared to go it alone. No compromise. Because at the end of the day, we understand that there's an afterlife. There has to be something after this. So we just gonna keep it real until the casket dips. You hear me? Straight like that. But you gotta know that, man, you know, you're being watched. Let me just put it out here like this, right? There's a lot of programs that's out here. America itself is a surveillance state. You got all kind of counter surveillance techniques that take place, man, that you got to be ready for. You got to learn how to evade surveillance. You got to learn how to reveal and confront, man. At this time, you got to learn how to reveal and confront. There's a way of doing it. There's a way of actually being tactful and getting these devils to expose themselves, which we're going to talk a little bit about that. But as of late, man, they say there's some new cases of electronic harassment nationwide. I came across this news brief right here, pardon the grainy footage, but whoever titled this video claimed that, you know, this is new. Maybe they downloaded it with a certain website or whatever the case may be. Nonetheless, there's going to be some valuable information in this particular news brief right here in regards to gang stalking. Let's go.
Making it a felony.
But what if police don't recognize?
Put a 1 in the chat if y'all heard the video. Only if you heard the video. Put a 2 if you didn't. All right, cool. I see the ones. Let's get to it.
And what if it's a complete stranger who's bothering you? Tonight, Joe Conger and the I-Team investigates.
Cynthia Verbeff is moving. Her home, she says, has become a house of horrors.
I feel that I've lost my mind. I've lost my life.
Incident reports from law enforcement tell the tale. Numerous break-ins at the address, vandalism to her car, her motorcycle, her computer. Verbeff believes she's being targeted.
Everything. They just went through everything.
But sheriff's detectives had little to go on because the vandals, though often destructive, stole nothing.
You know, and that's crazy. Law detectives had nothing to go off of. Let's make this clear. That's because they're in on it. That's because they in on it. How could this person home be constantly being broken into, constantly vandalized, and nobody's taking nothing, and law enforcement don't know nothing? They ain't got no fingerprint analysis. They didn't say, you know what, let's bring in some detectives. You know what I'm saying? Let's find out what's going on here. Let's use some of these street lights, because that was a nice neighborhood she lived in. Listen, when I say everybody watching, everybody watching. One thing that I realized when I was back in the DMV is that they look at our bloodlines, man. This comes from a bloodline background. If you got a family out there that got busy, law enforcement know who you are off buck. Like my uncles and cousins and all them, they got busy. My dad, my pops, he got busy. Listen, by the time I was 18, listen, the cops knew exactly who I was. That's why I had such a difficult upbringing, bro. When I was like 15, 16, 17, listen, the cops were always lurking. The whole community knew who I was through my bloodline. Same thing with this sister in the video. I guarantee that her uncle's father, somebody in her family, has a certain prestigious bloodline, and people know who it is. I have figured this out, man. And when I say they all watching, I mean law enforcement, I mean various agencies, everybody, bro. It gotta go through bloodline. The bloodline is just too strong. We have the bloodline of the kings and queens, the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the bloodline of those who ruled over Europe in what they call the Dark Ages. If we ruled over Europe, you think they're not afraid of us ruling again? You understand what I'm saying? They call it the dreaded Dark Ages, because they already know what kind of power we got in us, bro. Yeah, they definitely study us. And the way they study us is they prick in pride. Like the Wisdom of Solomon said, that they will watch us with despitefulness and torture to try to basically keep down a poor righteous man. That's what the scriptures say. That they would try to push us to anger. That they would, shut doors of opportunity, try to keep us downtrodden and financially broken and degraded, man. That's what the goal is. But you mean to tell me this sister house got broken into numerous times, and nobody know nothing? Nobody in the neighborhood know nothing. Nobody seen nothing. None of the other neighbors in those big houses have cameras watching around their surroundings. None of them have cameras in their homes or in their vehicles. That's what you're trying to tell me, bro. You know why? Because the neighbors in on it. They watching that lady too. She's clearly a beautiful looking sister. You know what I'm saying? She probably got a good spirit too. A good, calm, feminine spirit. And she being watched, bro. And we never know who her family is. Telling you, this stuff is real, man.
Even from her portable safe drilled into and torn apart, the contents, the jewelry, remained untouched.
They drilled, that's an intimidation tactic. That's their way of saying we can get you at any time. We can get to you at any time. But we don't want your personal belongings. We just want to show you that we could take from you. Like for those who don't know, who haven't seen my previous broadcast that was removed globally, aside from it being on a private link on my Patreon, the video I shared with y'all, the evidence that I shared with y'all about my laptop being hacked and my Google account being hacked, they didn't steal money. They didn't tap into the bank. They didn't do none of that. They just basically wanted to let me know that they can break free. They can break in. They just wanted to let me know, listen, anything we want to do, we can do it. It's an intimidation tactic. Like, seriously, chosen ones, you're basically case studies to these people. And they really just trying to see how your behavioral patterns are. For real talk.
Verbeff says her troubles didn't start until she met these two men. One would become her ex-boyfriend. The other was his partner in a San Antonio pain clinic, Dr. John Hall.
And you probably will wonder how two people or one person can turn a whole community against you. You're probably wondering. Listen, let me tell you, some people have the reptilian bloodline. Some people have Satan's seed and Satan's DNA. And this is so spiritual that these sick individuals, they can turn whole communities just basically saying, hey, we're gonna put her on the list or we're gonna put him on the list. It's strictly experimental for these people. These people are nuts, man. We talking about these individuals who do this, they're not even human, bro. They part of the hybrid DNA lizard people, bro. That's what they part of. They part of the Nephilim DNA. They got Nephilim reptilian blood in them. These are the individuals who really got a lot of pull in the program. Real talk. Now I'm gonna tell you like this. The scriptures tell us, man. I'm gonna just tell you straight like this. Exodus 14:14 says, the Lord shall fight for you, and he shall hold your peace. Now I find it necessary to bring that out because let me tell you, they definitely try to trigger you. Somebody said, man, you sound crazy, and you sound like somebody who about to get your ass blocked. Peace. Get your ass out of here. Block. Now, the reason why you got to hold your peace because they really want you to sound crazy. They really want you to be in some type of psych ward. They really want you to be in a straitjacket somewhere. Nah, listen, let me make this clear. Chosen ones are thinking more clear than anybody on the face of this planet. Because if I was crazy, why would they even block my live stream I did last time? What was I telling y'all in that live stream? I can't even repeat it. That's how real it is. But if you were to listen to it and think like a carnal being, you would believe that it sound crazy what I said. But obviously somebody knew it was true. Obviously somebody knew what I was saying was true. Somebody with power knew what I was saying was true. That was an agent in here just now, but he gone now. Blocked for good. But I'm gonna tell you like this. During my stay in DC, man, there's some weird things happening. Number one, my laptop got hacked. I showed the evidence. I showed what happened. It happened in a time where I wasn't even in my room. But on top of that, there was a lot of phenomena taking place as if they rented out the whole upper floor, the whole entire floor I was on, and they just basically put all perps on the whole floor, man. That's what it felt like. I'm talking about Saturday morning, I woke up. No, it was a Sunday morning, I woke up. It sounded like somebody in the next room was having an exorcism. In the room across the hall, actually. I mean, they were screaming. I'm talking about demonically screaming. Mind you, I'm in a high-end hotel. Who does that? Who does that? 8 a.m. screaming like a demon is in them, bro. And they did it for a while. Bro. Doors kept slamming. On top of that, one of the times I was streaming, next door, right? Why hotel security came upstairs and just kept knocking on the next door. Not the door across the hall from me, but the door next door. Ladies and gentlemen, there was nobody in that room, bro. And they just kept knocking. Hotel security, hotel security, hotel security. Bro, they did it so long that I was like, yo, it's nobody in that room. Why are they still knocking on that door? It was crazy, bro. So I opened my door, looked out the door. I didn't even say nothing. I just shrugged my shoulders and looked at them like, what in the are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Like literally, I just looked at them like that. And then they just looked, they glanced, and then they walked away. Bro, if they wasn't trying to trigger me, bro, let me tell you something. Another thing that happened. So, I was picking my children up. All of a sudden, when they get there, the TV went out. The TV went out and it was fuzzy. You know how you get that white snow on the TV and it makes that little hissing sound? So the TV goes out and literally I pick up the phone to call room service. Why they sent somebody up there in like less than 2 minutes, bro? I'm talking about, I don't know if y'all seen Cable Guy, right? I don't know if you seen the movie Cable Guy when Jim Carrey cut the cord and popped up at old dude's house in like 50 seconds to help him with his cable. The dude that when Jim Carrey was stalking dude. That's what happened at this hotel, bro. It was crazy, bro. It's like soon as it went out, I pick up the jump. For real. I pick up the jump like, hey, the TV, yo, knock, 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 they there. I'm like, yo, you got to be kidding me, bro. You got to be kidding me, bro. Like homie was like he cut the cable and was out there just waiting. I'm telling you, bro, it's some wild stuff, man. So I said, man, when I got back to Georgia, I ain't gonna lie, I felt relief, even though stuff happened here too. But when I got back here, I was like, oh, okay, I'm back. At least I'm back here. But anyway, I ain't mean to go on that rant, but man, I'm just keeping it real with y'all. I gotta tell somebody something, man. I gotta tell my people what I've experienced. Yeah, it was just like Jim Carrey and Cable Guy, bro. But here's the other crazy part. After one guy came up, he pops up, and then another engineer or technician, he popped up right after. It's like they sent their I guess he was supposed to be the real guy who came up, but they had somebody else come. Two of them came up, and he knocked on them. I'm like, oh man, they already done sent somebody. He was like, oh, okay. I'm like, man, something just ain't right, bro. Something ain't right. But man, this stuff is real, man. But yeah, absolutely. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this, man. But you know, it's different in the DMV area. It really is different. I said this in my previous broadcast. The DC, Maryland, and Virginia area is the worst place for gang stalking, bro. Hands down. And I'm not listen. Hands down, when it comes to the program, it's the worst there, bro. I mean, it's so much that happened. Here's another situation that happened while I was out there. So I parked in this parking garage at a high-end hotel, the Marriott to be exact. I parked my vehicle. So I rented a vehicle out there. So I parked the joint, and now, mind you, I park it in a garage next to a wall, a concrete wall, and I couldn't have been not even a foot from that wall. I couldn't even have been a foot from that wall. Why the next day I come down there, bro? The rear view mirror is turned all the way around. Like somebody had to just turn the rear view mirrors all the way around. It wouldn't even have been no way somebody would have even attempted to walk and bump the rear view mirror. It wouldn't have been no way, bro. It's just like little mind games, little weird tactics that they use. I'm telling you. And then y'all seen during the stream, they cut the stream off while I was talking. Cut it off, banned it, blocked it. I'm telling you, bro. Y'all witnessed that, man. Anyway, let's go, man.
Very first time I met him, we went to his house on 4th of July. And he told me that because I was already there in his house, I would be the next victim that I was going to be stalked.
Verbeff found the doctor's prophecy to be correct. She suffered months of oddness.
Coming in through the front door, and I touch the doorknob, and it just falls into pieces.
Lights left on, doors open, furniture moved, her clothes dryer disassembled. Her friends say they noticed the strange happenings. They tell the I-team they even witnessed a gas oven left turned on.
As soon as you walk in the house.
Y'all hearing this? They came in there disassembling her clothes dryer, leaving gas leaks up in the house. And you know the crazy thing, man, back in the day, I used to own, when I lived in the DMV area, not to make this about me, but I'm remembering certain things that would happen when I used to live there. Yo, we used to constantly get gas leaks in the apartments that we lived in. And I used to own reptiles. I used to have Nile monitors, Chinese water dragons, things like that. And all these oil leaks used to happen, but we would never like smell any gas or these gas leaks. You know, when a pilot light is off or whatever the case may be, and you would have these gas leaks, and it would just keep happening. And they would literally, they were killing my animals, man. And this is back when I was, a lot younger, and I would live in my apartments and stuff. They were killing my animals on a regular basis, bro. They would, man, this stuff is crazy, bro. There's some satanic people out here, bro. Let me see. Somebody said, hold on real quick. Hold on. Okay. All right, I'm gonna make sure it look like they's trying to bump me out. Like literally. This stuff is wild, man. But look what they was doing to this lady, man. They was trying to take her out. That dude that she was messing with was a demon, bro. Yeah, Tess W says the gas leaks are how they get away with murder. Real talk. Yeah, straight up wicked. Anyway, let's continue.
You'd smell gas in the house. So the whole house smelled from gas. So immediately turned it off and opened up the doors. But I mean, that thing doesn't just turn on by itself. And it had been running for a good length of time.
Or the time Verbeff and a friend say they were stalked at a mall.
I saw him following us to several stores, and I would see the man close to us, looking at us.
The girls had the presence of mind to snap a photo with their phone. Verbeff says all these happenings culminated in an assault. The 39-year-old believes someone drugged the food in her home and returned later to rape her.
I know something happened to me because a woman knows.
She filed.
Man, let me tell you something, man. That's why a lot of y'all ladies got to be careful who you lay up with, man. And you also got to be careful what kind of men you give your attention to. Women are the #1 targets for gang stalking and organized mobbing. Seriously. Now, let me go to some of these scriptures because, there is hope for the chosen. Yes, everybody's watching us, but let me add a silver lining to all this. Because, yeah, we live in a wicked world. But let's make this clear. We're going to make these devils bleed one day. And I don't mean physically. I'm speaking spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the Most High is going to curse their children. He's going to destroy these wretched, sick people out here who ain't got nothing better to do to be clocking people, stalking people, harassing, and utterly torturing people, bro. Listen, let me tell you something. These words that come out of my mouth, man, it's going to gouge you. It's going to gouge the spirits of these devils, even the devils that sit up in my chat and watch who don't support my work. The devils that be in the background, the stalkers and perps and agents who be targeting my platform, who working for these third-party companies and whatnot. Let me tell you something. Your children are cursed. You're placing a curse on your children's children, bro. And the righteous and chosen gonna rise up. And we're gonna break all generational curses. And we're going to elevate beyond means. And we're going to be plenteous in goods. And when we escape this Babylonian, satanic, sick Sodom and Gomorrah, when we escape this place, we're going to be plenteous in goods. Our homes are going to be plenteous in goods. We're going to have treasures. We're going to have gold. We're going to have fresh fruit gardens, land, homes. And your children are going to be sick. They're going to be born with all kinds of cancers. And our children are going to be fruitful and multiply. And we're going to rule this earth one day. Straight up. Straight up. I ain't scared of none of them. Because I understand that this is their world. I understand that this is their world, right? This is theirs. We're not supposed to enjoy this world because heaven is waiting on us. You know what I'm saying? The bosom of Abraham is waiting on us. They can have their little fun right now. Brothers and sisters finna get eternal life, bruh. To go through the things we gotta go through on a daily basis, we finna get eternal life for this. Why they gonna rot in the lowest pits of hell? You understand? Straight up. Man, the scriptures say in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. That means there's going to come a time where we have no uncertainty whatsoever. Imagine as chosen ones, as targeted individuals, righteous ones. All we ever had in this world was uncertainty, bro. Why you think we used to live hundreds of years and now we can barely make it to 60 and 70? Because they made an environment for us Well, all we ever had was uncertainty. They cultivated and genetically cultivated or geoengineered a total matrix, a total environment where we would never feel at ease, bro. That's what they did. They made it so we would be basically never at ease, constantly on edge. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Look, pressure only can do one or two things. Pressure either bust pipes or build diamonds, bro. Pressure can either bust pipes or build diamonds. And I'm telling you, they're going to keep on playing with y'all's people. And I'm telling you, bro, this thing is going to blow. This keg is going to boil over. Because I don't get afraid when these things happen. Yes, it's tiring, bro. My energy was down and I was frustrated, but I was never afraid. Only thing it does is rile me up in the spirit to preach even harder to y'all, to blow the trumpet, blow the shofar, and let y'all know that we the chosen. They all watching. I don't care if it's friends, family, colleagues, associates. There's a lot of people in the background watching y'all who's supposed to be your loved ones who watching you with despitefulness. They don't want to see you elevate. They don't want to see you do anything in life. They not congratulating nothing you got going on. They really hate you for real. And I'm here to let you know that they're going to have their day too. Seriously. The vindication is coming. They can keep on playing these games if they want.
Filed a report and was briefly hospitalized with signs of sexual assault. Dr. Hall says what
Wow.
Verbeff describes is known as gang stalking. Indeed, he writes about
she was hot. Look, her food was drugged and she had signs of being violated. This woman she had signs, which means there was a DNA analysis conducted on her. You mean to tell me the hospital didn't collect any specimen from the perpetrators who violated this woman? So you telling me the hospital didn't come up with nothing? What happened with the medical reports? If there was a clear sign that this woman was violated, why was nobody brought to justice? Because everybody in on it. Everybody in on it. That's the only thing that makes sense. The only thing that makes sense is the hospital's in on it too, bro. That's why you cannot be an organ donor. When you get your driver's license, do not be an organ donor because they definitely want the chosen one's organs, bro. Never become an organ donor because they will definitely try to take you out by car crash, by car accidents. So they can cut you open and like a frog and, you know what I'm saying, conduct experiments on your body. Seriously. And listen, some of these individuals, these reptilians, they eat the damn organs. They eat the organs. See, this is what they do. They put certain things, oh man, I end up getting blocked again. Let me word this the right way. Put it this way. Your McDonald's meat is suspect. It's been rumored that it's fetal tissue up in them burgers. They'll feed the people the fetal tissue allegedly because that kills you. That basically destroys you. You're eating flesh. But the powers that be, they eat the organs and the blood because that gives them temporary youth. You understand? That's what these demons do, bro. They rather eat the organs and the blood of the righteous so they can get the youth serum. But it only lasts temporary. So these vampires, they become addicted to this stuff. Hey, Lamar Booker, thanks for the 10, says, I'm going to always support righteousness. Continue to do what you do, Bree. Thank you, fam. I appreciate the support. Real talk. Jim Will, thank you for the 10 as well. Says, your job is not you or your gifts. Let me see. Is that what the brother said who contribute? No, I don't know what that means. Poetry painter. Jen, thank you. Appreciate the support. Let me see. Prototype, thanks for the 5, says, brother, respect. I'm driving my truck, listening to you. Blessed with great wisdom. Don't stop. You helped me to get my life right with Yah. I hope to meet you someday. Absolutely, bro. Same here. Thanks for the support, man. Danielle, thank you for the super sticker as well. And Tatiana, thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate the support. Real talk. Man, this lady was violated and nobody found the assailants, man. Crazy.
But in his book, A New Breed, Satellite
A
Terrorism.
new breed, bro. A new breed. Satellite terrorists in America. A new breed, bro. Come on, man. This is 2023. This is new cases. Like I said before, man, they use the app. They use the app to mirror. They use the app to mirror my Google account because I'm gonna just tell y'all like this. They trying to send me to the abyss and have a meta version of me, bro. They try to make a meta version of New Breed, man. They want me. Let me tell you something, bro. Like I said in the other video, man, they practically got AI clones of everybody who chosen, bro. They making AI clones of everybody. They got 2 different AI clones fighting for position to see who can be the best clone of you, man. We call them the tethered. We call them people the tethered. Just like us. They got them underground and they trying to copy everything we do, get our organs, get everything. I'm telling you, this stuff is real, bro. This stuff is real. Yeah, they make a whole timeline of your life. They hoping, really, they want to, this is what they want to do. They want to reverse everything and invert everything. They want to rewrite history and they want to make the chosen one seem evil at the end and make the evildoers seem like they were the heroes at the end, bro. Real talk. Yeah, this is a new book, 2023. This is new news, bro. A new breed, satellite terrorism. Come on, man. I already know that. And for those who don't know, this is one of the biggest platforms to ever even speak on this topic. You think these people don't know what's going on, man? Come on, man. Y'all gonna say I'm stretching. Nah. It is what it is. Think what you want to think, man. I know what's going on. They can't do nothing with us, though.
Terrorism in America. Verbeff is not alone. Others in San Antonio have contacted the I-Team and described similar types of occurrences.
The urine arsenic is above normal. We shouldn't have arsenic.
Linda Johnson says someone poisoned her water supply with heavy metals in northwest San Antonio.
It had arsenic and urine in her stuff, man. 44 points. Man, damn, bro. And you mean tell me out of the FBI, CIA, local law enforcement, nobody can figure out who's doing these things to these people? You got to be kidding me, bro. Yeah, somebody said, was that you saying your neighbor used to turn up corn volumes to the max just to harass you? Yes, that happened in South Carolina. That's why I left there, because I had a neighbor that was a perp. He was a Freemason, and he was a low-level Freemason. And there's a book written by Jim Mars. And this book explains how low-level Masons have to make enemies. There was all kind of things going on. My vehicle got broken into several times. They didn't take nothing but mail out of it. So they were trying to read my mail. They did take mail out of it. I kept getting flat tires every other day. The same tire with a nail in the same place. I would get it replaced. They would put another nail in the tire in the same exact place, bro. And then my neighbor, he would play corn videos, top notch, in the middle of the night. I'm talking about loud as ever, bro. Just real sick stuff. Mind you, while that was going on, I was making videos about the no-fap lifestyle change online. So, of course, I had to get out of there. I had to get out of there. Yeah, that's called a noise campaign. Anyway, let's continue.
Then there's her story about the bracelet that went missing, then reappeared. Police, she says, have stopped listening to her. And like Verbeff, she too believes
the police in on it.
She's been sexually assaulted, although she never filed a police report.
I've gone to doctors many times, and I've been to the Rape Crisis Center for counseling, yes.
Many of these so-called victims of what Hall describes as gang stalking meet up on the internet, finding comfort and information from others who say they too suffer from electronic stalking, mind control, and even rape. Loosely defined, gang stalking is where organized groups target and harass unwilling victims to the point of paranoia. leaving the victims to deal with skeptical family members and skeptical law enforcement.
This isn't stalking done by a former spouse or former boyfriend or someone that you know that's just grumbled at you, but stalking that's being done by total strangers in an organized fashion.
And they know it. You could tell in the confidence in that law enforcer's voice that he knows that it's real. He's not saying it as if it's some type of theory. He's not theoretically putting it. He's saying it like in an actual way, like this is an actuality. This happens. So it's like they know. Let me tell you, man, the scriptures tell us. Genesis 50:20. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Oh, now this is what it is, chosen ones. Yeah, they think much evil against thee, but God meant it unto good. Why? So you can bring everybody watching who really gonna take heed to the words that I'm speaking today. He says to save much people alive, meaning you're supposed to bring people to the light. Chosen ones, you're supposed to bring people back to life, back to reality, back to the law, statutes, and commandments. You're supposed to enlighten them that they have enemies and that the only way we can survive this is we begin to come together, and chosen ones and like-minded people begin to gravitate towards one another. We may have to live off the grid together, y'all. Seriously. Because they just keep going with this. They keep going with this. And to the point where they could get everybody locked in them smart cities where you need a damn QR code to go into the grocery store. You need a QR code to purchase food. You need you need a certain bracelet to be able to leave your city and leave your town, where everything is online, where you can't drive outside a 15-mile radius, where certain neighborhoods aren't going to be able to have gas-powered vehicles. It's going to be neighborhoods, mark my words, there's going to be neighborhoods that only have 15, you only can drive 15 square miles, and they're going to be taxing you. And certain neighborhoods only going to have electric smart cars. They only going to have electric smart cars. And if you jump out of line, they're going to be able to shut them joints down, bro. I'm telling you, that's what it's coming to. And for people who remain docile and allow the hidden hand to keep them in fear and keep them from moving with like-minded people and to keep them from moving and shaking and getting motion out here, man, the people who stagnated and afraid to make moves, especially away from those people in your family that you know damn well they ain't right. Those toxic friends of yours, those individuals you grew up with who really, then already stabbed you in the back a few times. Man, I'm telling you, it's time to make some moves, man. It's time to really plug in. And y'all know the ways to plug in, because I tell y'all all the time. Y'all know how we moving. We ain't playing no games. We know the times we living in. And don't do nothing out of paranoia or fear. Like I said, there's a difference between having mental problems and something really going on in your life. If you to the point where you know what's going on, but you staying still, that's the most insane thing you can do. That's the most insane thing you could do, because the scriptures say, if you persecuted in one city, flee into the next. And I know we don't have endless resources. We don't have endless resources, but you got to at least mentally prepare to be willing, because you got individuals who grew up in the same neighborhood their whole life and been going through this their whole life. I'm speaking to those people who understand that they got to think outside the box. Anyway, let's continue.
And some internet links take you here to the book mentioned earlier, written by Dr. John Hall.
John Hall, a new breed of, man, get out of here.
The book is fact. It's not a book of fiction.
It's not fiction.
What I've wrote about is an isolated story here in San Antonio.
Dr. Hall says it is a story about himself and the harassment and rapes his ex-girlfriends allegedly suffered beginning in 1996. Dr. Hall believes the people behind it are well-organized operatives using government satellite technology to terrorize him and other victims.
All voicing the same complaints: organized stalking, weird electronic disturbance.
I ain't mad at John Hall. I'm gonna cop that book. But I wish John Hall, you know what I'm saying, shout me out, because if you name this a new breed, you better believe you'd have been watching this channel, sir. You'd have been watching this channel, sir, to name it that. And that's okay. But at least plug a brother in. You did? Plug a brother in. Hit me up and say, hey, man, New Breed put me onto this gang stalking stuff some years ago. And, you know, do what you got to do, bro. Because I'm going to cop your book. I'm going to support you. Anyway, let's continue.
Is going on in their homes. Most of the women are complaining of drugging and sexual assault. So it
has caused her stomach to turn, because within the chapters in the story, she found similarities to her own situation.
I pulled out the book and I started reading, and I'm like, oh my God, it's exactly what's happening.
It's like turning the pages of your own story.
Everything.
Remember the doors, windows, even the clothes dryer taken apart? Page 35, third paragraph, talks about reassembling appliances. The drugged food and rape, page 52, talks of concealing rohypnol, the date rape drug, in drinks and food. The account in Hall's book is chilling, and the I-Team uncovered some truth to his story. San Antonio police reports indicate there was a rape reported in 2007 in the same quad of condos where one of Dr. Hall's girlfriends supposedly lived.
See, they be honing in on certain neighborhoods. They be honing in on certain neighborhoods, man. There's some communities that's ran by these individuals. A lot of covens are basically designated to certain environments, because I don't think a lot of people understand this. All right, so there's certain hemispheres on the planet that are pivotal points. They're access points, they're entry points into certain realms because of the history thereof. And this is why they choose to put certain things in certain places, if that makes sense. Just like we speaking of DC, how they got the pentagram or the Pentagon. They got the obelisk, which is a phallus, an Egyptian phallus. They got different portals and gateways. Why? Because there's certain history that takes place. It's certain names that they name these states. When you actually do your investigation on the name of the state, it always has some type of esoteric background to it. So like when you thinking about moving somewhere, like a certain community, a certain environment, yeah, like the name Cali, right? Let's use that for example. Cali is a destroyer. Cali the destroyer is a ancient goddess, a war. You know, the Callium. You know, it's different places that got different frequencies based on the names, based on the infrastructure. And also there's covens that's designated in certain organizations to certain places. So when you looking to go somewhere, you should look into all of that. Seriously. And, you know, and let me tell you this, the places that we got designated, United Nation of Israel, they are all places that the Most High designated time and time again. They are all places that his people were protected through certain tribulations in the past, right? And you can look at some of the sacred science behind, man. One day I'm gonna really break it down to y'all, man, in detail. That's something I would do at the camping trip with brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's continue.
San Antonio police say the condo rape remains under investigation. And Bexar County detectives say Verbef's assault remains open as well. And although there are some interesting connections to Dr. Hall in the book, law enforcement won't and cannot say if Dr. Hall is even a person of interest. The I-Team thought the similarities were striking and asked him,
could you in fact be the person that's creating this mess for these women?
And that's one of the reasons why I got out of my ex-fiance's life, to make sure that they weren't victimizing her in order to get at me.
Dr. Hall says he's been targeted by the same groups. There's mention in the book of a conspiracy by the criminals and by fellow doctors. Dr. Hall says the Texas Medical Board retaliated against him for uncovering the gang stalking. The I-Team confirmed one local hospital suspended Dr. Hall's clinical privileges for 2 months in 2006. In 2007, the Texas Medical Board ordered 2 mental evaluations of Dr. Hall. The first came back normal, but a second evaluation found a probable delusional disorder and ordered psychiatric treatment. And in 2008, Hall's license was suspended, this time when he tested positive for cocaine.
Wow.
In the book, he explains the operatives drugged him with cocaine periodically. Dr. Hall's medical license has since been reinstated.
Wow. Man, I don't know. They said it. That's crazy. You know what would be a strange turn of events? If Dr. Hall, he's in on it too. He in on it too. And they hire him to write the book. They hire him to write the book to basically document their own work. That's how deep the rabbit hole could be, bro. They hired him to write the book just to document their evil doings, bro. That's what Satan does. That's lesser magic. Put it out there just so it's out there. I'm telling you, man, this is when I say everybody be in on it, everybody be in on it, bro. He could be a whole op the whole time. Let me tell you something, man. I don't even know how else to say this, bro. It is us versus them, bro. And I'm talking about the chosen and righteous, the brothers and sisters who, can still look in the mirror and see that their spirit is there. I'm talking about the individuals who still have compassion for other people. The brothers and sisters who want to see other people successful and fly. You want to see other people having things. I'm talking about people who celebrate when they see others happy and growing and building and getting out of situations. Ain't too many people who like that. Most perpetrators and gang stalkers are, first of all, a lot of them are alternative. Or they are great. They are either alternative or they sexually frustrated grapists who would violate a woman, a woman, man, or child, to be honest with you. Them people are sick. They're sexual deviants. A lot of them are sexual deviants. A lot of them individuals are haters too. They don't want to see nobody successful. A lot of them don't want to see nobody doing nothing in their life. They don't want to see you eating good, smiling. They don't want to see you, financially getting anything. They real haters. And a lot of them are incels. A lot of them don't have no they don't have no spirit. It's like they in repeat mode. They actually being controlled by things. They're in a spirit of repetition. It's like they going in a total circle. They don't even have control over the things they say and do. They literally meat suits. These people are meat suits being used by forces, bro. I'm telling you, bro. It's crazy, man. All them weirdos gonna die. Horrible deaths, and they're gonna burn in hell while the righteous gonna rise. The chosen one's gonna rise. And I know they watching. I know there's people on social media watching y'all. It's some same people that when you post a picture, you can see how many views you got on Instagram. Why the likes ain't matching? What are all these other people doing? What are all these other spiritually retarded people doing? Think about this, y'all. You can post something that is righteous on social media, and that thing can get let's use 2,000 views, for example. Why only 100 people liked it? Why it get so many views but so little like? What are they? Who is these people, yo? It ain't just bots. Yo, these are literally people who just sitting back, rocking back and forth, looking weird. These are people who hate everything you do, but they constantly watching you, bro. That is weird, bro. When y'all posting pictures and you doing something in your life, who are these individuals just watching and not saying nothing? Just lurking, just in the background. They won't say nothing. it's like the stalkers come in many forms, man. They come in many forms. When you really think about the internet and you really consider everything, man, it's a lot of people who in your life that really don't rock with you, bro. Like chosen ones, you are few and far in between. You are few and far in between. There's a lot of people who shape shift their way in your life. Yeah, they have punchable faces. Punchable faces. Yeah, them damn NPCs. Really though. Really though.
If you look nationwide, almost everyone that complains of this eventually gets sent to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrists don't look into the technology. They don't do any research into whether or not any of this is possible.
With his
Right, all a psychiatrist gonna do is try to get you on some medication to really suppress anything that you battling. They're gonna just numb the pain. The psychiatrist gonna send you to Doc Schwartz and them. The psychiatrist gonna send you to the doc, and that doc gonna give you more drugs to suppress you, so you're not even on point while you being stalked. Real talk.
book published, Dr. Hall is taking his message nationally. He's appeared on cable TV shows.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hall.
Late night radio.
And our guest tonight, Dr. John Hall.
And even has his own radio program in the works.
There have been several people in my midst, obviously, that have been victimized, but if you look at it on a larger scale, it is a national problem as well.
Dr. Hall says the problem is gang stalking, seeking to victimize innocent women and sully his reputation for exposing them. For the I-Team, Joe Conger, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Dr. Hall's belief is that we all face some sort of terrorism in our lives that is mostly unseen and deadly. He contends criminals are tapping into our government surveillance systems to gain access to our lives and minds. As for
to gain access to our lives and our minds, bro.
For the alleged rapes mentioned in that story, no one has been charged, but both San Antonio Police and Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say they continue.
Now, mind you, bro, this woman has gotten her home broken into several times, bro. Several times. Nobody has been charged for these heinous crimes. She has been evaluated by medical physicians. They found that she was violated. There is no DNA brought forth. You mean to tell me having your home broken into all those times, there is no DNA left behind. There's no fingerprint analysis. There's no nothing. In a neighborhood that got all those like, you just can't tell me this. There has to be a situation where everybody is just watching The Chosen. Everybody's watching. And let me put this out here. We talk about the New World Order a lot, right? We talk about the mark of the beast, the two-way radio frequency, RFID chips. We talk about the lead up, the prerequisite that led up to a lot of what we see now through the shank. And we talk about all these things as if it's only the powers that be, right? We always talking about certain names, right? Certain governmental names. But ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to think about something. If the people wasn't in agreement with the new satanic world, they wouldn't be able to do this. Like, wrap your mind around it. If the people wasn't in agreement with the powers that be, they wouldn't be able to do none of this. Yo, most people are in agreement. This is the reason why they're able to roll these things out. People are in agreement with Satan, with the devil. They want a new world order, bro. Yo, people want to live for Satan, man. It ain't just like a small group of people. Yo, let me tell you something. Somebody said it. 85% of the world wants to serve the devil, bro. 85%, even the people who play in church. Even the people who play in church. And even there's even people out here who saying shalom, shalom, shalom. who claiming to be Israel, who claiming to be people of the truth. Even it's a good percentage of them too. We talking about 85% of the world are evil on the low, bro. Are straight up evil. And they have a pact with Satan. So let me when you put things into consideration like that, if you can only imagine how people feel in conversations like this, but to show you how crazy they are, they watch anyway. They watch anyway. You know why? Because this is war. This is war. Yep, somebody said so about 6 billion people. Yeah. It's the people who want this thing to go down like this. Romans 14:13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. Now, when it says judgment, it's talking about killing one another. It says that we got to be careful of stumbling blocks, because if everybody in the world is turned out like that, you got to be aware of stumbling blocks. And Matthew 10:28 says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Although it's us against them, right? We only can fear the Most High. We only can fear the Most High. Because these people, they could do us in at any time. But the Most High can destroy our body and soul. Man can only destroy our bodies. I'm not scared of man. Only thing man will be doing is like setting me free. And listen, Satan don't want to. Let me explain this to you. Satan doesn't want to kill you while you're in right standings with the Most High. Let me repeat that. Satan does not want you dead when you're in the right standings with the Most High. Do you know what happened in the demonic kingdom when Christ, our Savior, was crucified? Hell was trembling. They wasn't celebrating. Why? Because Christ was who he was. They thought they was doing something good. They learned from that. So when powerful men of Yah, women of Yah, when they die in truth, the kingdom of darkness is terrified, bro. Because they already know that we're going to rise back up. They already know when them saints come marching in, it's going down. That's an L for them. They rather lure you out, send a lady in red, send a perp at you to try to confiscate your brother's soul, confiscate you brother's souls. They rather send the bait out there, send the temptation out there, put certain women in your life that have you doing things you ain't never done before. Offer you something, some type of recreational drug you ain't never did. Now she got you strung out. They rather send something out there, bro, to get you off course somehow. This is how they operate. They send agents. If they're gonna take you out, they want you to have a lot of blaring weaknesses. This is why I tell people all the time, stay close to the Most High. You got to understand there's spiritual laws in place. There's certain rules and regulations that they can't overstep. I'm telling you. Yeah, you got to look out for the succubus. You ladies got to look out for the incubus. Because these individuals, that ultimately they're intimidated by us. Because they already know that we fight against the kingdom of darkness, man. They really cowards. They really are cowards, man. The scriptures tell us in 2 Corinthians 10:5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. This is what we got to do. Because listen, this matrix is basically like a makeshift. It's like a 5D dimension. It's fifth dimensional. This is why the scriptures say, cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God. The knowledge of God is the only thing that's real. Everything else is just high spiritual dynamics and intricate designs that was manifested by the matrix. That's everything else. That's all it is. That's why I said cast down all of those things and find the Most High, find a silver lining. because you got people out here who can't get it. You know how many women out here. We talking about grown women, not little kids, not kids who watch the Disney Channel. Grown women. You know how many grown women out here believe there's good witches. They believe it's bad witches and good witches. They think it's good witchcraft, ladies and gentlemen, to show you that a lot of people don't understand the simplicity that is Christ, that they have failed for high things that exalteth itself against the Almighty, where they are reasoning with themselves but not aright. You got the whole entire world reasoning with themselves against the Most High, against the God of Israel, but they're not right. They're foolish, but they're living their lives. And listen, let me tell you like this. I don't know one person who has been into that white magic, dark magic, lesser magic, higher magic, witchcraft, tarot cards, crystals. I don't know one of those people who live a good life. I don't know one of them who live a good life. They all miserable. They all are miserable, bro. They all are lost. None of them are successful in none of the right areas. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, that new age stuff is crazy. But you know what I'm saying? A lot of these perps, they use a lot of witchcraft too. They use a lot of witchcraft. But you know, you gotta be careful what you doing so you don't open those doors. 1 Corinthians 9:12. If others be partakers of this power over you, are not we rather? Nevertheless, we have not used this power, but suffer all things, lest we should hinder the gospel of Christ. Wow. That means we could suffer all things unless we hinder the gospel of Christ. Unless we don't preach the gospel, believe the gospel as it is written, believe in our Messiah, we can suffer all things. It says, even if others be partakers of this power over you, if they got spiritual powers over you, are not we rather? Meaning, are we not able to overcome and supersede that, overthrow that? Nevertheless, we have not used this power. We haven't even tapped into our power yet. We haven't used other magic. Well, let me reframe that. It says, nevertheless, we have not used this power, meaning we haven't used that. We haven't used magic, witchcraft, sorcery, none of that, but suffer all things, lest we hinder the gospel of Christ. Unless we hinder the gospel of Christ. I'm telling you, it can all be so simple. It can all be so simple. Listen, John 16:33, these things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. I believe it. That's why I talk so bold. This is why I talk so bold. This is why I know I'm of the Most High. I know the Most High has made me a prophet, a modern day prophet in this time. I know that the Almighty has blessed me beyond belief. And I'm blessed. The fruit of my body, the fruit of my labor, everything's blessed. You know why? Because I know the Most High has sent his son who already overcame this world, regardless of the things I go through. Even when we going through these things, man, I just use it to teach, to show you the importance of actually cleaving to the Creator, because ultimately that's what it's about. Cleaving to the Messiah, cleaving to our law, statutes, and commandments. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation. You're going to have perps, you're going to have agents, you're going to have haters in your family, people in general, gaslighting you, all of those things. But the Lord has overcome the world. We got to find peace in him, man. We got to find peace in him. But man, all praises to the Almighty. Hopefully, if you have been going through this program, let me tell you, you're going to have to replay this video a couple times, because this is going to lead you out of harm's way, man. This is going to really lead you. You're going to know the direction to go. Yeah, thanks. True Zay says he put Jeremiah 1:5. It says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Hallelujah. That's right. That's right. Before we was even born, we was chosen by the Almighty. Our spirit in heaven was already there. And he was like, I'm going to send you down and you're going to have a mission. to be a prophet unto the nations. You're going to have to go through some things, though. You're going to have to understand that it's going to get real for you to be that way. And it's gotten to the point where you chosen ones who the Most High chose before the womb. We know other chosen ones even before they know. I see so much potential in certain people. You know what I'm saying? I tend to see potential in people before they see it, bro. That's a gift of mine, bro. That is a real strong gift of mine where I can look and say that person has potential. I can look at a person and tell when they going somewhere in life, bro. Seriously. I know when it's another chosen one present. I know when they had a potential to be great. And that's why I love my people. Because although there's a lot of evil black demons and black devils out there, there's some of our people out there, man, they got the spirit with them. Because you know many are called, only few are chosen. It ain't a lot of us. But the ones who really about this, I'm down with you, 100. I'm 10 toes down. Real talk. I'm loyal to people who loyal to Yah. I'm loyal to people who loyal to Yah, real talk. But listen, man, I love y'all, man. Hopefully this brought y'all some insight. Do me a solid, pound the like button. Share this video everywhere. I like to thank y'all for coming through, showing y'all support. Y'all be safe. Have a good evening. More content coming soon. Shalom and peace.